Hey folks, and welcome back. This is day number 16 of Advent of Code. This is now the moment where I expect the puzzles to get slightly harder, but we'll see what Eric has in store for us. I'm Liz the Gray, and I've been streaming Advent of Code for 4 years now, so I'm pretty happy to be sharing this adventure with all of you. I hope you all decide to try out some of the puzzles for yourself, because they definitely are a lot of fun. If you enjoyed watching me do them, try doing them in a language of your choice. That's, for instance, not Go, or if you are using Go, if you get stuck, feel free to look at my solutions, but otherwise, there is value in seeing this stuff yourself. Cool. So let's go ahead and get my console set up for today. We'll go ahead and create day 16 input, and go ahead and instantiate my template here, and get rid of the boilerplate, no, that is not the button I meant to press. There's this weird button in Nano that's called njustify that does ridiculous things to your code, and I have no idea what it's there for, what it's meant to do, but it is not super fun. Awesome. Cool. So we are now all set over here. So to recap the plot so far, we had to catch a ferry to our vacation island. It looked like it was going well. And then suddenly the storm blew us off course. We landed on another island. We had to catch a bus to the ferry terminal. We had to catch the ferry. Now we're at another airport. And hopefully we will successfully make it. Hey, where is X? I hope you managed to finish day 14 yesterday. I've had to go to sleep before you finished. But, last I looked, you were making pretty steady progress. And I'll be sure to send folks your way if you're working after I'm done on whichever day you're working on. Whereas X is super awesome. She's at Twitch TV/where is X. So yeah. So you don't have to know a ton of computer science to do admin of code. It'll teach you along the way. Sometimes a little bit of a rough way of just throwing you into it, but you'll learn a lot of computer science along the way. Awesome. So we are about to try to catch a flight to our island, and I suspect, given that there are still, 10 more puzzles left, that we will not get to just land on the island. There is a little bit more stuff that's going to need to happen. I'm seeing some holes in the list of puzzles here, so we shall see. Awesome. Well, I will catch you on the flip side right as the puzzle unlocks. And for those of you who are P and S orbitals, chemistry, cool. Chemistry is awesome. Yeah, I do not know very much about chemistry. I used to study biology, funnily enough, but I was studying developmental biology in plants, and I was studying genes and not necessarily the chemistry. It's definitely a lot of cool stuff in science and maths and computer science for sure. The mathematicians and physicists definitely have one over on us in terms of, who is the closest to being the most abstract or generic of all of the disciplines. But, like the XKCD cartoon says, it's not. It's really not actually a competition. We're all here to enhance our understanding of the world and try to not destroy our world along the way. Except for those damn petrochemical engineers who are helping fossil fuel companies extract more oil out of the ground. That's less good. But one day we will have flying rocket ships, and we'll have solar powered vehicles. But that we have to work towards that day. Awesome. Cool. Well, good luck to those of you who are running Advent of Code on your own. I'll see you on the flip side, and let's go ahead and get started with this puzzle, day 16, now that's unlocked. We need to get to the train station after the next flight. List of fields that must exist somewhere in the ticket, and there's a range of valid fields. Okay. So every ticket is the same format. So those are all the values. first number is always the specific field. So they're all values in a field. Ignore your ticket for now. Suppose you have the following. Okay. Okay, so we can find values that are not valid for any field. Okay. This is going to be a fair bit of parsing work. Okay, let's get started with the parsing work. Thank you for the sub, Binary Vixen. Really appreciate the support. All the support that I get on this channel goes towards making sure that these videos are captioned and accessible. So I pay someone to work on accessibility for this video series. So all the money that you're donating, I really appreciate, because it makes it a little bit more financially sustainable for me to support. No, there is no way to auto resub with Twitch Prime. You have to manually select your Twitch Prime beneficiary each time. Okay, so we have a number of field ranges that have to be valid, and there are a number of values. Great. Okay, I can work with this. So let's go ahead and first of all, all right. So we're going to parse the lines out of here one at a time, and we're going to iterate through until we see the end of the fields. And then after that, we're going to see the your ticket, and then after that, we'll see neighboring tickets. I think that's the correct way to parse this. Great. Okay. So, if split index I is the empty string, then we're going to break out. Otherwise, we need to this is better done this way. Cool. Strings split of S. Okay, this feels like this is going to be something relatively straightforward and procedural, not super search spacey, but we'll find out. Okay. So field is going to be parts of 0, but we're going to ignore that for now. Parts values is parts 1, and we split it with OR. All right, so far it looks like those can only be two different things. So we're going to need to store our constraints in some fashion. So I'm thinking this is going to be my data format. So I'm going to have a constraint struct that encodes a list of constraints like this. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, so a constraint has a low and high. All right, so we're going to instantiate here fields. Okay, that should do the trick. Thank you for the subscription, Cardamom. I appreciate it. All right, so how are we doing this? We need to fields of, okay, so fields index field, append fields field, which makes sure that we always initialize it. So C is going to be a constraint, and C low and high can be obtained by splitting this value here based off of the dash in it, and that's probably the right way to do it. Yes, there are definitely ways that you can do this with regexes, but I'm choosing to do this bit by bit instead because I find regexes to be a little bit fiddly personally. All right, so so we want to take this string split v dash. Okay, so C low is going to be converting limits 0, and C high limits of 1. Okay, that'll work. I find this a little bit tedious about Golang, that it makes you repeatedly do if error is not nil, if error is not nil, but that's fine. Great. All right. So I think now, if I finish here, let me just check this. So we should be able to print out our list of constraints and the fields. So let's try running that. Not nil, that's fine, okay. All right. So that never exits. Why does that never exit? So this never exits. Oh, because I never increment I. That's why. Fair enough. So I'm just going to make this bail early as well. All right. So now I actually know how I want to do this. Okay. So arrival location is 3259 or 74955. Okay, that looks good. All right, I think that looks good. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and add a debug flag as well, because I think the debug flag is going to be useful. Thanks, Fong-Jones, for watching. I really appreciate the support that all you give me, because it cheers me along and helps me feel motivated to keep going with this. Okay, so if debug, then we're going to print out the fields. All right, now let's continue onwards. So now we should see this string your ticket. If what is this field called? Split. Okay. So if split is of I is not equal to your ticket, then we know we have a problem. Right, so now this here is going to be a ticket. So we need to have an encapsulation for what a ticket is. So a ticket is just going to be a list of integers. So we're going to define here. My ticket is going to be a ticket. And now, so we're going to parse this now. For range split of I. So over here, thanks for watching, Castner Tech. Appreciate the watch. So let's see. We need to parse each value like so. Okay. So we're going to look at each thing. Put this on the comma character. Right, so that seems fine. This is going to be split of I. All right, and then we're going to append my value. Okay, that seems reasonable. And then we should again expect to increment I. And we should expect to see now nearby tickets. Okay. Hey, Pixely Squid, thank you for watching. So nearby tickets. And now, so let's see. Oh, there should be plus equals 2 because there's actually the blank line there. All right, and now we should expect to see a bunch of additional tickets. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and make this a utility class here because this seems to be generically useful and I'm now repeating myself. So, wait, so we're going to instantiate here, like so. And we're going to return t here. Okay, so for here, Parse ticket split of I. And this should be, say, line here. Okay, so now we're not going to repeat ourselves, which is good. So now we expect to see nearby tickets. Oops, that's wrong here. That goes there. Okay, so so now we loop over the rest of the ticket lines. And we're going to parse ticket of split of I. Okay, let's see whether this works. We obviously have some syntax errors. Yes, that is correct that we only have to find the values in nearby tickets that don't fit into nearby field ranges. I'm not even worrying about that right now. I'm just worrying about making sure that I have the input correct because I have been bitten before by not parsing the input correctly. In fact, I'm going to make triple sure that this actually ends the way that it's supposed to. Okay, 652 something something, we're good. Yeah, so I am not yet on any of the algorithm stuff. I am just on parsing my syntax. So line 65. Oh, I see. That's my bug. Okay, so we're going to do that. And line 73. What's wrong here? Oh, that's a plus plus. Thank you for writing me a plus plus. Line 89, so I'm missing a bracket here. Oh, that's just that. Okay. So, what's going on here? Oh, I see. That's straightforward enough. So this is just line, and so, yep, okay, that should work now. Oh, whoops, yep, that's true that I do not use my. We're just going to print it. All right, so let's make sure that this looks correct. So, uh-oh, that's a problem. I've got an off by 1 error somewhere here. Great, that's easy enough to look at. So what do we have here? So it said failure to find my ticket, failure to find nearby tickets. Okay, oh. So I'm off here. So, oh, I see. I need a I++ here, I think. Okay, now this should work. All right, yep. My ticket looks correct. So it starts with 89, ends in 53, and then the next one starts at 930, ends in 779. Go all the way down to the bottom. Make sure that I don't have any weird things at the bottom. 652, 989. Okay, we're good. Okay, now we can actually get to the meat of the problem. Cool. So the problem asks, ignore your ticket for now. Great. Okay. So we're just going to count invalid. That's going to be a percentage of, oh, I see. Add together all of the invalid values. Okay. So this is not actually plus plus. I'm supposed to add all of the invalid values together. Do I not like using a language server? What's a language server? If you mean automatic formatting, like GoFormat, that used to work, and then Nano 4.8 broke it, which I'm really pissed about, and I should really use Babby like Anthony Rates Code does. All right, for v in range t. All right. Constraints. Okay. So fields. So this is straightforward enough. I don't know about Go plus. So if v is so each field has a list of constraints in it. All right. So now I think I have this correct. So each value here, if I find it to be valid at least once, then we're going to mark it as, yeah, I think that's correct. So if not valid, then invalid plus equals v. Okay, if c low is less than or equal to v and c high is greater than or equal to v, then it's a valid one. And we can break outer, otherwise we need to keep searching. Okay. So I believe this should probably be correct. Let's test 23044. So we'll plug it in, and that's correct. Continue on to part 2. Great. So the invalid tickets get discarded. So using valid range, figure out which fields must be which. Third field on every ticket, including my ticket. Great. 6 fields that start with departure. What happens if I add those 6 together? Cool. All right, so now we'll do part B. So here we need to keep track of valid tickets of... okay. So now this needs additional logic here. Wait, does it? No. If every field is valid, yeah, all tickets which contain invalid values must be discarded. Okay. So we'll refactor this. Okay. All right, so we're going to do it this way. So if valid ticket, then valid tickets appends t. Let's make sure that we have at least some valid tickets and we're not just working with nothing. So let's just run that really quickly. Line 84. Oh. Yeah. Cool. So now we've iterated all of the fields, and if all of the fields pass muster, then we consider it to be a valid ticket. Yep, so there are 190 valid tickets. Wonderful. All right. So now we can proceed here. So the end result that we want to get is we want to keep track of so the mapping field order needs to map, do we want int to string or do I want string to int? Let's try string to int. I think that makes more sense. Okay. So in the end, so we're going to do this. Now, so this is going to print the result at the end. I haven't worked out any of the algorithms in the middle, but I know how I want to generate the output, and that's kind of an important thing to record, so I'm going to do this while I'm fresh. All right, so if k 0 to start with the word departure. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we need to multiply. All right. Oh, I see. That's going to be an index. So all right, that makes sense. So now we need to find out what that field order is going to be. I think that might be 0 to 9. We'll find out towards the end at any rate. Okay. So I need to check each field value and figure out which ones are possible candidates. Okay, so that's how we will do this. So that means we need to loop through all. Hey Eric, how are you doing? We need to loop through all valid tickets. And we need to construct a Okay, so we need to construct a value listing. I've grown to instantiating these this way these days. Okay. Hey VWoo, I'm glad you're done. Hope it was fun for you. I feel like I'm on the right track. I just need to iterate and finish this up. Okay. For each ticket that's valid, we need to values at pause for values at pause p is append values at how do I handle this? You know what? The map is probably slightly cleaner for these purposes. Okay. All right, let's do it this way. It takes slightly more memory. I don't actually care. Memory is cheap. Okay. All right. So now, for each field, we need to test to see which values it could possibly be. So the way that this is going to work is we need to take this logic here to find out whether a constraint is met. And we need to extract that, so I'm going to do that now. So a okay. Am I doing anything weird here? No, I'm not. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So field is valid for a given set of constraints if and only if this. Okay. All right, and okay, that seems fine. Oh, and I need the value. Okay, hopefully this still works. Do I still get, oh. Okay, that seems fine now. Check this. Oh, I have a typo there. So picky, so picky. Okay, we're just going to comment this out for now. I'm not using it. I just need to make sure that my refactor didn't break things. Okay, 23044, that's still fine. Look, wonderful. Okay, cool. Now we need to, okay, Okay, loop through each position. Looking for candidate field names. So I need to map strings to integers here. So we map strings to a list of ints. Okay, that makes sense so far. Wonderful. So now, for each field in range fields, so I need the name of the field as well now, because that's potentially relevant. Okay, and now we evaluate whether or not it's a valid candidate field. Okay. Let's see this. So, if value valid VF, not value valid, then we continue error. But if we do get to the end here, field name fields passes validation at that pause for all tickets. Okay, that seems reasonable enough. Cool. So now what have we here? We have candidate mappings of name append mappings name and the position. Okay, I think that works correctly. All right, so let's just print out, just to make sure I'm on the right track. Okay, good. So arrival location has many things it could resolve to, but as we can see, there's only one thing that route is valid for. So now we just need to iterate over this map, mutating it as we go. So all right. I'm not worried about searching all of these. I don't need a forward and backwards dictionary. Although I guess I can probably just do the backwards dictionary. Let's do. This makes the logic easier, I feel. So int to string. Hey Epsilon, I'm glad you finished before me. I was taking my time with kind of doing this, rigorously explaining as I was going, and I, don't always win them. That's perfectly fine. It's not super much a race. So reverse mappings. I actually, honestly, have spent a little bit more time on part 1 than part 2 so far. Honestly, this is. I knew what I needed to do the instant I saw part 2. But part 1 was definitely a little bit of a parsing slog. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite puzzles for this year. I agree with you, Eric. Okay. Okay, so, long as we have changed our result, we need to keep iterating. So, pardon the nose blowing, I'm a little bit sick. I think I have a cold. Okay, so actually this needs to be defined this way. Grumble, grumble. If not change. Okay, actually there's a better way to structure this, but we'll worry about it later. Okay. All right, if mappings is 1, then we're going to do iterative elimination. Yeah, I knew from the beginning this was going to be iterative manipulation, elimination. This was just kind of, yeah. Okay, how do we do this? So then we need to, this is going to be more straightforward this way. Continue looking for the one that has only 1 left. And at the end of this, we're going to mark change is true. And yeah, okay. So how do we handle this? Well, we need to FO index field order is of type map from string to int. So that seems straightforward enough. So name. And then now, oh. All right. So, yeah, I am unfortunately not about the visualizations. I'm just about the collaborative solving in education. Okay. So we expect that candidate mappings of n needs to have deleted from it a certain value. That sure does suggest candidate mappings should just be, you know what, I really don't fancy manipulating array slices to delete elements out of them. We're doing it this way. I hate this, and yet this is the best way of doing this. It's easier to just n set values. So, all right, we're going to do it this way. So if all right, same deal here. now this is a little bit easier to deal with. Okay, that feels much easier now. What does this need to be? Oh, and then after this we delete the entry from reverse mappings because it's been utilized. Okay. I think this should do it. So now let's try this. I'm iterating over candidate mappings, so this needs to have a continue in it. No, this needs to now break out of this loop. Okay. Where is my syntax error? Line 153. So that needs a bracket. Okay. What's wrong here? Oh. Okay, and line 151. Okay. Wait, those line numbers have changed. Line 152. Okay, range candidate mappings. So candidate mappings, I see. So now this is not just the 0th index. This actually I have to look up the value in it. Okay. Should only iterate once. All right, almost there. So this now is a, oh, this is just mappings. Almost there. 156, oh, same deal. This is just, now we're almost done. So this 9 here is incorrect. Oh. Great. That cannot possibly be right. So what do we have here now? Let's go ahead and, as a debug, okay, so route got resolved correctly, but now for some reason I'm failing to further continue this. So route got resolved, but after route gets resolved, some of the other ones should also then be possible to resolve. Because for instance, I know once route is gone, some of the other ones should disappear as well. So where is route in here now? Seat, row, route. So that should take 19 off the map. Let me just stare at this for a second. I'm literally going to take this into a text editor. Just have a look at this. Okay. So let's have a look at this. So 19 true. How many things depend upon 19 is true? Plenty of them. What does eliminating... Okay, so that should make track now resolve with 13. So for some reason, that's not happening. All right, so that's straightforward enough. So I'm just interested to see what happens here. So for each thing in candidate mappings, oh, that's my problem. That was a spurious delete there. Nope, still not quite correct. Getting there though. All right, so we're just going to annotate this here as well. That's going to be K name. So I mapped position 19 to route, and then after that, let's print out what the array looks like to figure out why it's not working correctly. This is always a slightly fiddly part. Okay, so how many cycles am I doing here? Oh. I think I see the problem. So let's find out what's going on here. Okay, so I ran a second time, but I failed to find that there is now only one possible value. Why is that? Oh. I think I have the same problem here, do I not? For range in... Oh. For each item in there, I understand what I'm doing wrong. I'm not actually removing elements from reverse mappings the way that I expect to. So... Yeah, okay, I understand my problem. Yeah, okay, got it. So reverse mappings is from int to map string bool. So int, which is pause. And we're just going to do it this way, actually, real quick. Okay, I understand what I did wrong here. We're going to assign this a friendly name just to make it easier for me. And is indeed a field orders from string to int. That's good. Okay. Great. Over here. So now reverse mappings maps from int to string. So over here, yeah, I see what I totally screwed that up. Okay. Oh, but that's not strictly true. Because we have to delete from each candidate mapping. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I was correct. All right. And we also need to do the same thing here. Great. Now I understand what I did wrong, and I feel so silly. Okay. That should do it, because it won't delete a value that doesn't exist. So now, all right, that is now correct. So let me go ahead and feed that in. I successfully did it, I think. That is correct. I've completed day 16. Woohoo! I finished in just under an hour. Let's go ahead and see who's running. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all very, very much. And I will see you tomorrow. Cheers, folks.